such a time as this.
And welcome back to For Such a Time as This, the place where there is no such thing as a silent witness. As usual, want to start off this video with a passage that applies to what we're seeing today, what we're processing as Christians. How do we process the world we live in? That's why we're here at For Such a Time as This, to help you process. Matthew 15:17. Jesus is going back and forth with Pharisees about the issue concerning the washing of hands. And Matthew 15:17 says, "This do you not see, that whatever goes into the mouth passes into the stomach and is expelled, but what comes out of the mouth proceeds from the heart, and this defiles a person. For out of the heart comes evil thoughts, murder, adultery, sexual immorality, theft, false witness, slander. These are what defile a person. But to eat with unwashed hands does not defile anyone." And so they were talking about what defiles a person. What is how do you process whether or not someone is good or bad? Well, I'm glad you asked. What's in the news as of October 7th, 2025, the Democratic nominee for Attorney General, Jay Jones, was caught texting fantilizing about shooting former Virginia GOP speaker. And it is horrendous. It is horrendous what this man did. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I've said on For Such a Time as This for some time now, we're in a dangerous injunction. We're at a dangerous point in our country. Violence is not only being excused, but being encouraged. Look at what this man did.
Here is what has been revealed, unearthed, really. Jay Jones sent text messages to a Democratic colleague in 2022. And in those messages, he was making a call for a deeply disturbing call for violence against Republicans. In reference to those who were publicly honoring a deceased Republican state legislator, Jay Jones wrote to a former colleague, quote, "If those guys die before me, I will go to their funerals to piss on their graves, send them out a-washing something." He also wrote this about then Virginia House Speaker Todd Gilbert. "3 people, 2 bullets, Gilbert, Hitler, and Pol Pot. Gilbert gets 2 bullets to the head. Spoiler, put Gilbert in the crew with the 2 worst people you know, and he receives both bullets every time." Disgusting. Jones apologized, saying, in part, "Reading back on those words made me sick to my stomach." Now, it's 2022. It's not like the guy was 15. Come on. It was 3 years ago. And then he says, "I am embarrassed, ashamed, and sorry." Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin called Jones's violent rhetoric beyond disqualifying. President Trump called on Jones to drop out immediately. Jones' opponent and current Virginia Attorney General Jason Miyares earlier today.
As a top prosecutor in the state of Virginia, your job is to stop violence. I can't imagine somebody running for this office that has advocated for violence. This is not the temperament of somebody that should be running for Attorney General. So I don't view this as a right versus left issue. This is a right versus wrong issue.
And look, say maybe you don't want him to quit. You've raised money for him, so on and so forth. Would you still publicly back him is the question here. Democrats are still doing so. The Virginia Beach Democrat Committee with this. We are lined up, 10 toes down, ready to organize, mobilize, and deliver voters for Jay. Recent press may have spotlighted past mistakes. We say let those without sin cast the first sin.
Let those without sin cast the first stone, I think she meant to say. Whew. 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 Some may say, hey, that didn't come out of his mouth. Oh, come on, he communicated it. Text message is the same thing as speaking. You're communicating to someone else. It's probably even worse because you put it in black and white in order to be passed around. But what comes out of the mouth proceeds from the heart. And this defiles a person, for out of the heart comes evil thoughts, murder, adultery, sexual immorality, theft, false witness, slander. If at some point you're trying to defend him, here's the second clip.
Kerry Conyer, that former colleague of Jay Jones, mistakenly texted, was so upset he reportedly called her to explain his point about gun violence. He told her the only way his rival's wife could feel the pain of victims would be to have her child die in her arms. His colleague hung up on him, and this text exchange followed. Jones, I wasn't attacking you. I was trying to understand your logic. Kerry Conyer, you weren't trying to understand. You were talking about hoping Jennifer Gilbert's children would die. Jay Jones here. Yes, I've told you before, only when people feel pain personally do they move on policy. Conyer here. I point blank ask you more than 3 times, and you dug in that you meant it. Jones, I mean, do I think Todd and Jennifer are evil and that they're breeding little fascists? Yes. Oh, there's the word. There it is, fascists.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we in our country, and again, it's not about right and left, Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal. The fact that this man is still running and people are behind him. Come on. Come on. But this is where we are. This is where we are. Murder. The murder of children. It's not only talked about, it's accepted. Hats off to the one colleague who hung up on him, who had enough decency to say, no, I'm not with this. You're crazy. But the Democrat Party, and as of October 7th, 2025, at approximately 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, no national that I've seen, I've looked at a little news today, but as of last night, no national Democrat has called for Jay to step down. We're at a dangerous point. Wow.
For such a time as this,